Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a collection video. I have gotten requests for this video since I've gotten many new items in the past months and people want to see what my collection looks like. So without further ado, let's get started. All the way down on the floor here, we're going to start with a 1996 Thomas. Then we have the Out of Puff Thomas that came with the Thomas & Birdie's Great Race set. A very nice piece. Then we have some 2001 engines. We have Edward, Henry, Gordon. That is a 1996 James. Then 2001 Percy and Toby. Then we have the 1994 Round Roof Duck. I'm currently looking for a brand new in box duck on eBay. So that's my next purchase, along with Spencer's Coach. But for now I have this 94 duck. Here we have a 96 Donald. And then here we have a Douglas. I believe this Douglas is from 2001. Then we have a 1998 Oliver. Diesel. 92 Daisy. 92 Gray Roof Boco. I'm also looking for a regular Boco, a newer version with the white roof. The wheels on this one aren't very good. He doesn't run very well, so I'm definitely looking for a new one, but obviously at a good price, because if you've seen eBay lately, the prices are insane, and Boco goes for $45, $50 plus, and then you also have to pay shipping. But then here we have Bill and Ben. A lot of my collection is from 2001. It's just a nice year that you find on eBay for some reason. You find a lot of engines from 2001 in good condition, so I just snagged them up when I could. Then we have Mavis, and then Stepney. Then we have Diesel 261, one of my favorite models in terms of his Thomas Wooden Railway representation. Very clean looking. Then we have Derek, and if you couldn't tell, a lot of the models have dust on them. Before I moved to this new setup, I had all of my engines and Thomas Wooden Railway items in a basement, so they got pretty dusty pretty quick, and I just haven't bothered to clean them up. Then we have Salty. I honestly am beginning to dislike this Mattel Salty. The face is just too goofy. And the Learning Curve version is pretty goofy, but at least I have some nostalgia for it because it's what I grew up with, the original Salty model. But this Mattel one is looking pretty goofy. Then we have Harvey, who is new to my collection, as you know. Very glad I got him. Then we have the Season 7 gang with Murdoch and Spencer and Arthur, all in very good, almost mint condition. Very happy about that. Then we have the 2012-2013 Flying Scotsman. Very nice model. Heavily sought after on eBay, along with the original model. Love the colors, love the classic wink. Just a very nice model. Then we have the Talking Railways Stanley. And that is going to be it for my standard gauge engines. Let's move on to the narrow gauge. Starting off with Duke. I honestly have no idea what year this Duke is from. I didn't even bother to look. I believe it's from 96. I'm probably wrong, but definitely in the 90s. Then we have Peter Sam and Sir Handel. I love these later counterparts that they got when Learning Curve was re-releasing some engines along with Scruffy. But the older versions are cool as well. Definitely nostalgia, because I had the older versions as a kid. And so these engines are not what I'm used to. But they are definitely the superior models in my opinion. Their detail is just very nice. Then we have Skarloey and Rheneas. And right here, Skarloey and Rheneas, this kind of bothers me that I have a newer version of Skarloey. I believe this one is from 2001. Then I just have a 96 Rheneas. It just looks kind of weird. Rheneas looks so small compared to Skarloey. Just looks odd. Then we have Duncan, the White Roof Rusty, the later version of it. Bertram. And then Ivo-Q, who you recently saw in my review. Very nice model. Very glad I got him in mint condition. So those are all of my narrow gauge engines. Now let's move on to my coaches. And my collection of coaches has increased very much so without me even realizing it. And so here we have Annie and Clarabelle. Then we have Henrietta, who I never had as a kid growing up. And then recently new to my collection since May is Ada, Jane, and Mabel. Then we have Old Slow Coach, the Classic Express Coaches, the Knapford Express Coach, which is new to my collection, and then the Sodor Mail Coach. So a nice collection of coaches here. I do really want Spencer's coach, and then I will consider my coaches complete. And honestly, my collection, because there's really no engine or model that I really want that would complete my collection besides Spencer's coach. I mean, there may be an updated model or two like Duck and Boko, as I explained, but really my collection is pretty complete in my opinion. Then we have Toad, the brake van, and I actually repainted his roof here. He was pretty beat up. You saw in my earlier Thomas Wooden Railway series episodes that Toad's roof was pretty beat up, and now it looks brand new. I got some white paint, some matte finish paint, and repainted it myself, and it turned out really, really well. I didn't want to have to go and buy a new Toad because the prices for Toads are just insane. Then we have the NW brake van, which I never had growing up either. A Sodor Line caboose, the original Troublesome brake van. Then we have my 2 gray Troublesome trucks. I used to have 3, I sold 1. I just think sometimes it's pointless to have a bunch of the same rolling stock. I think 2 is enough for gray trucks. They're kind of boring, kind of bland in color, but they are classic. Then we have the Gig-Lig Troublesome trucks from Mattel. And you can just see the total differences here, like the complete different sides of the spectrum in terms of Troublesome trucks. We have the gray trucks, and then the Gig-Lig Troublesome trucks, lots of colors, goofy faces. And these are just so basic, so clean. And you can just really see the differences in time and years here. Then we have the Sodor tar and fuel tankers. A Sodor fuel tanker, a Tidmouth milk tanker. And interesting, growing up, I really didn't have any of these models. I never had a tar tanker, a fuel tanker, or a milk tanker. My collection was pretty much what my parents had bought, and so it was pretty limited. But we did have a lot of miscellaneous rolling stock and pieces, such as, I believe there was a 2-car pack that was called the Ice Delivery Cars. I had that. I had the Waterworks cars, Coldy, and the Apple Orchard cars. I had just a bunch of random rolling stock like that, so none of this clean classic ones. Then we have the Sodor scrap cars that came with Bertram. My 2 Sodor cargo cars. And then I believe this one is Henry's Law car. Yeah, so this one is Henry's Law car. And then this one is the Sawmill car that comes with the Sawmill and Dumping Depot. Then we have Scruffy, who's pretty beat up, but I think it goes well for Scruffy's character. Then we have the horrific, disgusting absolutely atrocious zoo cars. Definitely could go without these, but they came with IvoQ as a completed pack, so I'm going to keep them for now. Then we have Fred Pele, the coal car. Very nice. You don't get many coal cars in the Tomlinson Railway line, so very nice to have Fred. Then we have the barrel car that came with the barrel loader, the Sodor Fire Department train, and then the classic breakdown train. So that is all of my rolling stock, trucks, brake vans, and coaches. Now moving on to my roadway vehicles. So starting off with Birdie the Bus here. This Birdie came with the Thomas & Birdie's Great Race Pack. Then we have my favorite roadway vehicle at the moment, a 1992 Terrence in mint condition that I got for pretty cheap on eBay. Perfect face, really no dents or scratches, and the treads are magnificent. I love the black wheels. I think it goes really well with the orange and the treads. A nice flat magnet. And then we have a 1994 Terrence. And you can just see the differences side by side here. A little bit of a Terrence review here. Just the difference in the eyebrows, the face, the difference in the pupils. Also, the orange is very different. This one is much more rich and dark. This one is lighter, kind of more like a carrot. And as you can see, he comes right off. So this 94 Terrence is not the best. Let me try and get this back on here if I can. Well, that's gonna have to stay off because I cannot get that back on with one hand. Oh boy, oh dear. Well, there's Terrence from 1994. So as you can tell, I definitely like this one better. And then we have Harold the helicopter and Trevor. I'm very glad I got rid of my Mattel Trevor. The Learning Curve version is so much better. Then we have Butch and Lorry 1. And it is crazy if you go on eBay how much money Lorry 2 and Lorry 3 go for. It's ridiculous. And what's interesting is that I actually had that Repair Works, I believe it was called, or almost a gas station that Lorry 2 or Lorry 3 came with. And it came with a little Sodor fuel tanker piece that went into Lorry's flatbed. And I actually had that destination as a kid, but I never remember having a Lorry 2 or Lorry 3, whichever one comes with that destination. I believe it's Lorry 2. So that's kind of disappointing, but here we have George the Steamroller, Caroline the car, who I never had growing up. Then Elizabeth, who is new to my collection. Very nice. Very underrated roadway character. Another Sodor Fire Department piece here, fire truck, the Sodor ambulance, and then the Sodor Bay tugboat. And honestly, I think it'd be cool to buy another Sodor Bay tugboat, but not the same year, not the same version, the black smokestack version. I think that'd be pretty cool. So that is going to be it for my roadway vehicles. Terrence is not doing so well, not doing so hot here. He's currently split in half, so that's a bummer. But those are my roadway vehicles. Those are my troublesome trucks and rolling stock, brake vans, my coaches, hopefully getting Spencer's coach in the near future, my narrow gauge engines, and then all of my standard gauge engines. My collection is always changing. I'm always swapping out engines and pieces and such on eBay. I'm always buying and selling. I've slowed down recently, but that's because I feel like I've gotten to a pretty good place with my collection. And then also, before I forget, I've already shown you this, but on my display case here, I do have some more Tomlinson Railway models that are in my collection, but I'm currently not having them out of the box. With these Sodor China Clay cars, Diesel 10, Splatter, and Dodge. So those 4 pieces. The Adventures of Thomas. We have another Harold. the Instant System set with a 94 Thomas, a Tidmouth milk tanker, brand new. You see top hat and lady hat there. There's Stanley's box. And then we have the 10 Years in America Thomas. And then we have Ada, Jane, and Mabel's box. And then down here in the Knapford Station set from the Talking Railway series, we have Talking Railway Thomas, Percy, and James. And then there's the Roundhouse. Might do a video on that. Who knows? Could be fun. But yeah, I believe those are all the engines. I believe so, for Wooden Railway at least. So that is going to be it for this collection video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and seeing my collection. Hopefully it wasn't boring. Hopefully it was an interesting video, seeing me explain all of my engines and go into further depth into my thoughts about my collection as it is currently. I hope you guys enjoyed my latest layout video. I was pretty proud of that layout. And I also hope you enjoy the next couple episodes of my Thomas Wooden Railway series. So without further ado, I want to thank you guys for watching. Look forward to my series, and I'll see you in the next video.